Hey everybody, Objectively Dan here. Did you know if you're going to the Cheesecake Factory, you're going to hell? That's right. Also, Taylor Swift is a satanic, whore of Babylon. We already knew that, I think. And other kinds of people out there kind of say these things. We're going to talk about the people that say these things, aka the prophets of the internet, all that and more.
On the Cheesecake Factory.
Ooh, we got a little truncated version there. A little shorty.
Did
A little
we?
shorty. Yeah, it was a little short. You didn't notice that? Unless I was tripping. I could be tripping.
I think you were tripping.
All right. Okay. Zod, what's up, buddy? How you doing? You good?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Oh,
I'm not at all tired. It's been a
no.
short day of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about people who think they can prophesy. You know, when we started looking up these weird prophecy channels, it had a very familiar feeling to me, especially that one lady. I don't remember her name, but the one with the YouTube channel you sent me. It feels very familiar if you grew up in Pentecostal church, the whole vocabulary and the vibe and the way they present. But what I found really strange is how big a following some of these people have for just how utterly unengaging and really not always charismatic and inarticulate they are. It's just some of these things look like, 100 sub max basement dwelling channels, and they have like over multiple 100,000 subscribers. And I'm just like, where are these people coming from and who's watching them? I think that's part of the mystery.
Yeah, I was first made aware of this space, actually, I think, because of the video that we're going to open up with today, which is this Cheesecake Factory video from like 5 years ago. And I was perplexed because I came to the same sort of conclusion as you did, right? Like, I wouldn't expect these channels to get as popular as they are. We're talking about several 100,000 subscribers on a lot of them. And like, there's a problem with YouTube now because some channels are so old, they get a lot of subscribers and then their current view counts don't really match that. A lot of these view counts are still matching like those numbers. Like, it's surprising how well a lot of these do. And as far as I can tell, like, a lot of these have been around for a while, way before AI content was out there. I just don't know who in real life is actually watching these things. But I guess somebody is, because they're all pretty popular.
It is incredibly strange. Like, yeah, people unironically like this. But hey, look at who's just shockingly close to getting elected to president. I guess you don't need to be non-offensive and articulate and make sense to get a following.
This is what's weird. We could legitimately be more popular as prophets on YouTube than in our current content space. Like, that's what's really strange about it. I think it's just like we can just make bullshit up for a living and would be just fine, I guess. So
I threw the idea out there and you shot it down. So
yeah, well,
this is on you.
I'm still down. One day, listen, when I turn around the corner, okay, and I start going grifter mode, you guys have no idea. It's gonna be amazing. I got a whole plan figured out. It's gonna be really cool. But for now, let's learn about why the Cheesecake Factory is actually the worst restaurant you can possibly go to.
Yeah. These prophets have a way of not really predicting the future as much as just interpreting benign things as being creepy, and I don't know. I thought prophets were supposed to tell you tomorrow the enemy's coming over the horizon, or your kingdom is going to fall or something.
It's interesting you say that, because in the Christian tradition, the Christianity I grew up around, right? A lot of people said, you had like spiritual gifts, right? One of them was the gift of prophecy. And like, whenever that was told, it never meant like you could literally see the future. What it usually meant was, oh, you can speak out about the times,
Yeah.
right? Like this sort of, I don't know if it's a revisionist history of these texts. I guess it kind of is, but Jeremiah, Ezekiel, these books that we consider prophets, half the time they weren't really talking about the future. Half the time they were just making cultural commentary about the things that they were seeing around them, right? Which, I mean, that part is definitely
Yeah.
true, right? So I think that's like the interpretation I get from some of these YouTubers. They just are like cultural commentaries, but like not like funny or entertaining. Just like, oh, I hate gay people kind of commentary. And then maybe some future stuff too, just for funsies.
Yeah. It's so I know that that's not actually how prophecy works. It never
Hmm.
has been, but I always thought that was kind of supposed to be the idea, to the point that maybe you try a little bit harder, like in a fortune teller kind of way.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind me giving a little background on this, in my experience, prophecy, our church, between songs and preaching, they would have a time where you could like go up to a microphone and prophesy or speak in tongues. And if you spoke in tongues, somebody else was supposed to come behind you and interpret. And whether you were prophesying or interpreting, it always was just like really vague flowing banalities about how God loves us and we're his children and he has great things for us.
Hmm. Hmm.
It almost all sounded exactly the same. Nobody said, and I've mentioned this in my videos, but nobody said like, Bill watches porn and he has it stuffed behind a box in his garage. There's nothing like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is so, oh my God. I just did a presentation for work today about lamentic, fuck.
Lamentations.
No, not lamentations. Fucking, fuck. Oh my God. I'm so tired. I can't remember words. Anyway, I just did a thing about computer models that, uh, latent semantic indexing. Okay, so like this is they've done this for computers, right? Where you can basically make matrices that calculate words in relation to other words, and that's how you can find, it's kind of like what we do with large language models, right? This kind of idea where we can kind of make these connections with words, and they've used these techniques to study how human beings actually recall memory and stuff. And I think like when it comes to prophecy and these kinds of things, they're always drawing from a similar word bank
Yeah.
of just like cultural idioms that exist in Christian spaces. I remember hearing stuff like, "Oh, the Lord will dance for you," or like, you'll become a leader amongst men and stuff, right? It's just kind of remixed over and over again. It's never really anything original.
All of Christianity is like that. In a certain church, they'll develop a certain set of vocabulary, and it can like cycle every couple years, or maybe it's faster now with the internet. But there are always certain just really obnoxious phrases like the trendier,
Yeah,
really cool Christians would say.
yeah.
But
What's funny
aside,
though is that these guys are super obnoxious too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if you went to church with them, you would be annoyed. I feel like.
oh yeah, I'm sure, I'm sure that the people they know, it's like even what they said in the Gospels, a prophet is never appreciated in his hometown or something like that.
Right.
You know,
Jesus said that, I think.
this person, yeah, that's what or they said it about him or something because
Yeah.
Nazareth drove him out, or
Right.
Galilee or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure some people find them entertaining, but you wouldn't want to be their roommate or their neighbor or their co-church.
No.
What do you call it?
No. It's crazy that we live in a world where, I mean, everybody has their own truths, right? I mean, that's just the thing of it. And like, you get your own little Christian bubbles here of just like, oh, Russia's actually um, being piloted by Satan or whatever. Like, I don't know. There's just these interesting interpretations of the world that I guess maybe aren't interesting, more just like sad, if anything. Interesting in a clinical sense, I think. you know. I say that, but we're gonna be reacting to some right now. So this one's funny at least.
So, couple chats. Have you guys seen God's Not Dead and God We Trust? I
That's the fifth
haven't.
one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I need to watch 4 first. I'm committed now. I got to finish this series. So
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
rot all the brain cells I have left.
I'm curious to see 5. I think it's still in the theaters. I'm not watching these things in the theater. But when it comes out on streaming, I'm sure I'll watch it and do a video about it.
If I watch Forzod, will you talk about it with me on Zadanza so I make it worth
Sure.
my time?
Sure.
I can at least make some content out of it.
Sounds good.
Okay. Cool.
Curious Nerd Kid has said, my dad had that experience. A prophetess actually prophesied in front of the whole church that he had porn magazines, basically turned a church against him to promote himself. My mom was distraught. So
Whoa.
it does happen.
Whoa.
That's like the Greg Locke thing, right? Where he accused people of being witches.
Right.
But I'd say as a rule, it's just positive, just basically rattling off positive affirmations to the church. And
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll say this. Oh, you had another thought.
I was going to say the alternative, the only times that like people actually prophesied things about the future were one prophesied that this small church I went to when I was younger out in Wasilla, it's the valley is what they call it. It's where all the hillbillies live. And they prophesied that there would be a trickle, then a rain, then a flood of people joining that ministry. And right now there's probably still like 30 people sitting around barely listening to this guy preach. The other one was that they prophesied that they saw tongues of fire all over the United States, but they were not in Alaska. And those tongues of fire represented a disease that was worse than AIDS. And it
Oh.
was caused by abortion. So,
Mm.
just like AIDS was caused by the gays,
Right.
this new worse disease was caused by abortion. But the flames weren't in Alaska because Alaska was going to be spared due to the righteousness of the few up here. So it's just
Nice. Sounds like
it's self
that's a cool little B movie right there.
yeah. It's
You know?
interesting that it's always self-affirming, whether it's self-affirming uh just platitudes or whether it's a self-affirming prediction of the future.
Mhm.
And I guess by the time enough time pass, these are all traveling people who do this stuff. So once enough time passes, they're like long gone,
Yeah.
so
There's the grifter to delusional spectrum. Okay. And like I say it's a spectrum. Really, it's more of a plane because I think you can be delusional and also be a grifter, right? But like when it comes to prophets, they're always somewhere on this plane. It's either like they're way too much into their stuff or they are just absolutely just don't care. I'm thinking of like folks like Marjo. Have you ever seen that documentary? I talked about it before. A great insight into somebody who's literally just like, yeah, I just do this shit for money and have been, and it's been my career, and it's the only skills I know how to do. So there's definitely some people that do that, and I think maybe are stuck. Maybe they don't feel like they have the best options, or maybe they just don't care, right? But if you're making content on YouTube, you must like the sound of your voice at least a little bit, you know.
yeah.
So whatever.
When I went back to that church, by the way, a lot of that
Mm.
was in my childhood. When I went back as an adult, that church had gotten like super weird.
Oh,
They
I
quit they
bet.
quit doing the orderly thing where you could go up and prophesy in between, and people would just start they did the version where people just shout out from their pews or run up and down the aisles and stuff like that. And a lot of the prophecy was prophetic painting or painting in the Holy Spirit, laughing in the Holy Spirit. One lady got up and they would do prophetic acts. And so this one lady got up on the stage and said she had a prophetic act. And literally all she did is lifted up her dress and showed her slip and that there was a stain on it.
What? Okay.
And
And you were okay with this at the time? you, you were
it
like,
was
yeah, that's
supposed
awesome. Wait, what's your take in this on? Hold on.
I just thought it was weird, but it was the
Oh my
whole
god.
point was supposed to be that we all have things hidden inside ourselves and it's going to be revealed. So she was just showing that there's a stain on her slip and that we all,
That's awesome.
I guess
I
actually showing.
nobody needed to know that. But it's cool that that lady thought that that was necessary. That's
And
awesome.
nobody wanted to see that. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't show a lot. It was like basic,
Yeah.
you saw more than some people just wear with normal dresses, but
Jeez.
yeah. So
Um,
that's my personal experience with prophecies and the little variety of them that I saw at church throughout time.
what a thing. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I got one just absolutely appalling one.
Okay,
The
real
past
quick, I just want to comment. Jason Sherwood said Dan likes the sound of his voice confirmed. I actually don't. I said that, but I guess what I mean to say is, you got to think like that you're at least competent enough to talk about a subject to do it publicly. But
yeah.
no, I hate going back and listening to my stuff. If my partner is playing an episode of Truth Wanted or this show, I actively tell her to turn it off while I'm around because I don't like hearing the sound of my own voice. And I hear Purple Ranch with Orange also saying I hate to listen to my own streams. I'm the same way. I feel like it's a good thing to do so you can hear yourself, but I actively hate it. I don't know. Just thought I'd add that. Anyway.
I I'm pretty indifferent. I don't like listening to the ones where my voice had that weird cadence and I trail up at the end back when I used to read my scripts. There's some of those that
Mm,
really bother me.
mm,
But for the most part, you have to re-listen at some point, especially if you're doing recorded content. You have to
right.
like kind of get a sense of what you're doing and what you can improve. And
Right.
so to me, it's almost just like listening to another show at this point.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, anyway, tell us your terrible other story.
Yeah. So this is a church I went to when I was in college. This one guy in our church, he just was racked with horrible cancer. Like he had lost a ton of weight and everything. It was actually really sad. And that's what made this so just absolutely terrible. And the pastor said that he had a prophecy that God was going to heal this guy. And
Oh
he
no.
the guy ended up dying within a couple months, of course.
Yeah.
And then the pastor came back and said that God had healed him by relieving him of his pain and bringing him up to heaven.
Ugh,
And so that was the way he validated his own prophecy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
like
we healed the Native Americans of this land, by bringing them into heaven. That's what we did when we came here.
we gave them
Wow.
blankets of healing.
Blankets of healing. Oh my God. We're going to hell. We're going to super hell. That's crazy. Um,
I mean,
yeah.
it's funny in a way just how desperate it is, but it's also just really disgusting because there were real family members and even
Yeah.
just other people in the church who were really distraught when this didn't turn out happening. And then you make that kind of lazy ass excuse, like that's insulting to people.
Yeah, it's like, I get asked this a lot, right? Well, what can't you just let people believe what they believe? And yeah, I mean, people believing what they believe, that's one thing, right? Okay, you're in a desperate time, you want to come to God and that helps you with that. That's one thing. It's actively telling people lies and being like, "Hey, God's going to heal you actually. Oh, never mind, he's healing you in heaven or whatever." Like that's what I have a huge problem with, right? Because
Yeah.
you're in a position of power and you are actively telling somebody something that will affect their life, right? Like your attitude in sickness matters, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like how happy you are, how sad you are, how distraught, whatever. And there are positive and secular ways of encouraging people and having a realistic mindset that don't involve fucking lying to them and telling them that, hey, you're just going to get better because of magic, right? But
Yeah.
anyway,
That's the same way it is with everything.
yeah.
Like if you keep getting married and divorced over and over and over again, and you just keep asking Jesus for forgiveness instead of getting an actual secular informed sense of what's going wrong in your life, maybe talking to a qualified counselor, not your pastor. It's that
Yeah.
way for everything. And by
It's
the
like,
way, I just want to add, nobody is not letting you believe what you want. I hate that phrase.
mm,
By having channels like this and talking about what we talk about, we're not letting people have their beliefs.
right. Yeah, that's a good point.
I anyway.
Well, when I say that too, I mean like there are some people that like I'm not gonna go and correct somebody who's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in a place of crisis right now, and I've been turning to my faith as a respite in this time. I'm not gonna be like, actually, sweetie, God's not real.
Yeah.
So that's just a dick move, right? That's not
Yeah.
helping anybody. I don't, that's not what I'm about.
Grandma's praying with her child by the bedside. God's
Yeah,
not real stupid. Like, I
yeah.
mean,
Time and
but I
place,
mean,
people. Time and place,
yeah, I wasn't trying to correct you on that, but people do
Yeah.
say that and frame it that way, and I
No,
find
you're
that
right.
really annoying.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right. The presentate turns out it takes more than just being right about something. So the presentation does matter. Okay. And I'm not going to be like critiquing the aesthetics of people. Okay. But like, come on, there's a reasonable limit here. Let's find it together. And I think the limit is at the Cheesecake Factory because turns out I've been eating at a deeply demonic place filled with all kinds of ancient evil symbolism for a while now. And turns out you probably have too. So yeah.
Hey, Neil, the 604 Atheist is here. Hey, buddy.
Neil. What's up,
Not,
Neil?
haven't seen you around in a while.
Neil, did you know that you're going to hell? Want to find out why? Tune in. Here we go.
All right, let's go. This is
The story of a girl.
This one is called, and I'm
Uh-huh.
going to yell the all caps words, the occult Cheesecake Factory exposed.
Yes.
So
Perfect
that's the
YouTuber title. I love it.
Yes.
How many views does this have, Zod? Like 200,000?
Oops. Far more than it should. Let's see.
It's even more than that, actually, I think. It's got a lot.
I
Way
wonder
too
how
much.
many of these I wonder how many of these are ironic views.
I don't know, because you look at the comments and they're all pretty supportive, I feel like.
Yeah, that's probably way too true. It has 335,000 views.
335,000 views. Keep that in mind as we watch this. All
And
right,
the channel has 258,000 subscribers. It's called, I'm not going to yell them all. It's all in caps. Revelations of Jesus Christ is the title of this.
Revelations of Jesus Christ. That is the YouTube channel that you should be subscribed to. All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
So here we are. Just finished up a beautiful wedding ceremony.
I need to emphasize, this is a real person. This is not a bit, because you hear this and you're like, oh, this is a parody. Like, this is real. There's way too many videos on this channel for this to be an Andy Kaufman-esque thing, and they're way too stupid to be funny. This one just happens to be funny. I've seen this other guy's stuff, and none of them compares to this one. So just FYI.
With a beloved couple that's in the ministry that God has just united together. And to celebrate, they wanted to take us to the Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yeah.
And as we wait about 25, 30 minutes and finally get in and seated, you can see that the atmosphere is dim and they try to make it comfortable, stylish. I mean, you gotta.
By the way, I'm just curious, is that the guy?
He doesn't show his face in his other videos. I don't know. This is the only one I've seen where a face is shown. So
yeah, it's just weird. It does this a few times. It shows the camera right on him, but that's clearly not him talking. It's all voiceover.
It's probably is, and he probably realized his audio was shit, and he did it later. But he's probably one of those guys that just fucking vlogs wherever he goes, and he's probably just actively talking shit while at that Cheesecake Factory, while like whoever he's with is like in the restroom or something. So,
and why is he bothering to tell us about how they had a wedding and they walked in and waited 25 minutes? I like to think this whole thing is he got really impatient waiting for his seat, and so this whole thing is just out of spite.
yeah. I mean, like, it's I don't know. He's just he's trying to set the scene here, paint the mood. We've all been there after gone to a wedding and then sat at the Cheesecake Factory waiting around for 25 minutes. So it's just very relatable, Zod.
For some reason, this burger tastes like the spit of 20 wait staff.
Oh man. All right, let's keep going.
Walk by the Cheesecake Shrine as soon as you come in the door.
I love that.
But there was something else that you could discern in the atmosphere. So as we're looking around, right in front of us is a serpent wrapped around a chalice or a cup. A cobra, actually. And notice that the cup is red, symbolizing a blood offering. And when you look up on the ceiling, look at the occult symbolism. It is insane. And they got it above the people as they're eating. That's deep. Listen, I know there are gonna be.
It's deep, and it's above
deep.
the people. Yeah.
Whoa.
Where else are they gonna put it?
They got symbols on the ceiling, bro. That's crazy. It'd be fun. Like, It sounds like some shit you'd say when you're fucking high and you're just like, you're at fucking Denny's at 3 a.m. Like, whoa, bro, they got the salt shaker with the pepper on every table. That's crazy, you know. But he's like, the sad part is he's completely sober, as far as I'm aware.
The,
So awesome.
the painting is above us.
Yeah.
That's so deep, man.
It's so deep. It's the occult symbolism.
That guy has been into the green hard.
Oh, for sure. He might be one of those dudes that maybe did some hard drugs and then became a Christian afterwards. I don't know. I don't know his life, but I could see it if that's the case.
Yeah.
Some that have foolish minds that are gonna laugh this off and just say, I'm trying too hard.
Yeah, you're right with
Those
that.
that walk in the spirit will know exactly what we're saying.
Mm.
So you notice the hexagram.
So if you have a
right?
good
Now there's
attitude,
two
you're not gonna
ways.
think I'm a
On the
fucking moron.
outside surface, they want to look at like they're merging all the religions together. And we'll get into that in a minute. But let's look at this. You got the hexagram, which is not the Star of David. That's the seal of Solomon. In fact, it goes beyond, it even predates him. Witches call it the demon star. In fact, when they do a ritual, when they draw a pentagram to stand in, they draw a hexagram, and when they do their ritual, a demon will usually appear in the hexagram. I mean, think about it. It got the word hex in the very word. Think about that. What is a hex? It's a curse. But you notice next.
It's fucking awesome. It's so good. It's so good. I swear to God, this is not a bit. This is a real channel. Okay. I have to emphasize because it's so fucking stupid. Oh man.
I don't remember. Maybe he'll explain it, but I'm just not seeing all the religions of the world on here.
Yeah,
But-
he kind of talks about it more in some of the later parts, but like, yeah, okay, the Cheesecake Factory aesthetic is just like, it's serving of options, of food options, which is just fucking everything, right? Like the aesthetic is just, there is no cohesion. It's all like kish and like, very world. It's very it's a panache of different things. So like, yeah, there's gonna be some random fucking symbols because like that's just how the Cheesecake Factory fucking rolls. I don't know. You could look at this stuff all day and come up with all kinds of ideas, but like at the end of the day, it's just a fucking, I don't know, 6-point
hang on.
star. Yeah.
Does that explanation explain the blood sacrifice cups?
Now, no,
if it's just a mix of cultures, then why do they have blood sacrifice cups?
oh, that's for the actual blood sacrifice.
Okay.
They do. How do you think they make those cheesecakes so good, Zod? You know.
I don't know. I've never been to a cheesecake.
Listen, you can't make a good omelet without breaking a few eggs. Okay. And by eggs, I mean the blood of the innocent. And cheesecakes. So, something to think about. Anyway.
Yeah. I live in Alaska. We don't have cheesecake factories, apparently.
They don't have Cheesecake Factory up there? Well, that explains why it's the last Christian stronghold, Zod. Maybe that pastor guy.
Oh, that explains the good. You should be a prophet. You are good at this.
They're not suffering under the tyranny that is the Cheesecake Factory at every retail mall outlet possible, Just
a side note, part of the culture of living in Alaska is not having a lot of national chains. They have a lot of other places. And then when one comes up, no matter how half-assed or even totally shitty it is, everyone gets really excited and floods to it. Like, oh my gosh, awesome. There's an Olive Garden. Oh my gosh, there's a Sonic. And there's a big line for stuff that you'd never eat unless you lived in Alaska and were excited because it's finally here.
Did you ever see that thing where Pitbull, the music artist, there was like a contest online back when they still did those and they weren't all ruined by 4chan and marketers got smarter, where they're like, you should vote which Walmart, Pitbull should come visit. And they voted like someplace in Alaska. It was like the smallest Walmart in the nation. And he fucking went. He just went there. Was like, yo, I'm showing up. And he did it. So props to Pitbull for going to fucking small town Alaska. But
that's amazing.
Gotta love it. All right. I need to hear more about why
for sure,
our dining habits are actually evil in origin. I guess I'll hit
To
play.
it
There we go.
is the
I thought you were
Islamic
about to.
crescent moon and star.
Yep, that's it.
And if you look over to the other side, you got the New Age yin yang. I find it interesting. We're in the process of this series exposing the New Age. And here we are at a restaurant, just simply trying to celebrate a beautiful marriage. And the occult is in our face more than the bread on the table. So underneath that, you notice the upside down cross, or the Roman Catholic cross, because the Vatican, the Antichrist system, wants to unite all the religions. Isn't that what the New World Order is about, saints? Notice that all these religious symbols, but they're deeper than that. They're occult symbols. But did you notice the black serpent?
Did you notice
slithering down the tree in the
slithering like Randy Orton?
Crazy. It's right in your
I think
face.
he's slithering up the tree pretty
And
clearly.
I didn't want to forget to mention the warning bell that's on fire. You could figure that one out yourself. But
Wait, okay, let's figure that out ourselves. What do you mean?
The warning bell that's on fire.
Wait, Revelations of Jesus Christ. I do need your guidance on that, actually. I do need some help. Please tell me what that means.
He said warning bell that's on fire, right?
Yeah, though it's right there in the middle. You can see it. It's just a bell with like flames coming out underneath.
And that requires no further explanation. Of all the things on this,
Yeah.
that requires no further explanation.
Right.
Even as like a skeptical person who thinks it's all bullshit, if I see a serpent or a hexagram or whatever, I can at least have some sense of where somebody's going. But a bell that's on fire has me totally stumped. I think maybe he couldn't even come up with anything for that, so he just
was like,
his way past
you guys figure that one out on your own. That's the
I'm not going to
homework.
do all your work for you.
Yeah. So I was curious, and I googled the Cheesecake Factory aesthetic, like why it is the way it is, and I found an article from a website called thedailymeal.com, and this paragraph is great. It says, "But there's one other thing the Cheesecake Factory is known for. It's wacky as heck decor. While other restaurants typically go for a simple theme that reflects the brand itself, quiche for TGI Fridays, Quick Italian for Olive Garden, Australian for Outback Steakhouse, the Cheesecake Factory tends to feature sweeping columns, palm trees, and wood paneling in every location. If your instinct is, what do any of these things have to do with cheesecake? The answer is absolutely nothing. It turns out they were just items their designer and the CEO thought were cool." Yeah.
That sounds like what servants of the devil would say.
Right.
We're just being silly.
No two Cheesecake Factory locations are quite the same. They all seem to share a riot of influences from Egyptian to Victorian England to frescoes reminiscent of Central Europe. According to McCormick, the Egyptian style was mainly because Overton always thought Egyptian stuff looked cool. That's it. That's the whole reason. That's literally what the article says. That's it. That's the whole reason. So there you go. It just looks cool.
Or because the Egyptians captured the people of the Lord and tried to pit their magic against that of Yahweh.
Yeah. Notice the bird that's eating the cucumber at the top. See, that's a sign of the occult side.
What is eating the cucumber slang for?
Eating the cucumber. Yeah, I think you can figure that one out.
So, by the way, I looked it up, and Pitbull they sent him to the Kodiak, Alaska Walmart.
Hell yeah.
Kodiak's like a small island town, like just off the bottom of the Kenai Peninsula.
I don't care for Pitbull's music, but he's a real one for that. Okay, he's a real one.
That was pretty cool, I have to say.
All right, let's keep going.
Easy in the Cheesecake Factory. You got to realize something. The whole world lieth in the wicked one, the Bible says.
He's got Justin Bieber
so
in there.
Celebrities, musicians, actors, you name it, they have to pay homage to Satan by throwing up devil horns in their pictures and so on, and one-eye symbolism and so on and so forth. But the millionaires and even billionaires that own companies like Cheesecake Factory, they have to show their allegiance even in the buildings, even in the structures, and it goes on and on.
I have no idea what the fuck this is.
Did you notice that in between each booth are two pillars? But did you notice that in each booth, there are pillars on each side that have a serpent eye?
It's the Eye of Sauron.
And you know what's crazy? It even reminds me of the Eye of Sauron from The Lord of the Rings, which was a movie about witchcraft and wizardry. But Sauron represented Satan in the movie.
Has anyone ever watched The Lord of the Rings? And in response to being asked the question, what was that movie about? Oh, it's about witchcraft and wizardry. I don't think you watched that movie, but I think it's about a little more than that, but okay.
Well, and if this guy's all up in arms about the occult and the devil and all this stuff and witchcraft, they didn't exactly send Christian priests up against the witches of Sauron or whatever. Like there was witchcraft and wizardry on all sides.
That's right.
I'm not really sure he understood that movie.
Witchcraft and wizardry on both sides, Sod. Let's not forget. Okay. But yeah, no, I just, that's a guy who is just saying that here's a popular thing with magic in it and therefore it's evil. That probably hasn't even watched it, which is sad, right? How sad is that this is a guy who actively disengages from culture, not because he doesn't find it personally interesting, but because there's like an unsaid obligation to, for some reason. Like, you know, why? Because it's got a book with some magic in it. I don't know. That's like just such a silly thing, I guess. You can't engage with other people's creative works or ideas without potentially being influenced by Satan. I don't know. I guess that's how that works.
Yeah, it's just such weird, shitty behavior too. Like, I have my guess about the supernatural and how it works, and I'm just simply not going to tolerate anybody else's, even written in the form of fiction.
No.
I will admit, of all the things in this video, those do legit look like the Eye of Sauron, like compared to some of the other stuff he's pointing out.
You have to wonder how long that decor has been there, if this was before the movies or not.
When he first pointed to those and said they represented something, I thought it was going to be something entirely different, like I was way off track. But yeah, they do look like the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah, they
anyway, let's go.
What's up with that Cheesecake Factory, huh? Answer to your crimes.
Can't you see the serpent eyes? Look at the Egyptian pillars.
Yeah.
Did you see the pine cone?
Well, hang on. Sorry, 1 second. In the chat,
did you see the pine cone? That should be a sound clip. Oh, you need to get the
guy
sound
said
clip.
I lost my virginity during Return of the King.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Sorry, they interrupted my favorite line in this thing. Let's rewind so we can really catch it.
Satan in the movie.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just I'm trying to imagine out of all the movies to lose your virginity to, that probably the least amount out there has got to be Lord of the Rings. Any of them, right? There's too
much going on. You got to pay attention.
There's too much going on. There's a lot of stuff. There's magic and wizardry and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but go ahead.
Movie. Can't you see the serpent eyes? Look at the Egyptian pillars.
Look at them. Look at him.
Did you see the pine cone?
That's my favorite line.
Cone. Again, it stems back to the Vatican. And even prior to that, we go back, it goes way back to the Anunnaki, the fallen angels. The pine cone is a deep occult symbol.
The pine cones. The pine
now, hang
cone.
On. Now, number one, I just love that. Do you see the pine cone?
You see the pine cone? I love these fuckers because they always think they're so fucking wise. They really think they're the smartest guy in the room. Like, hey, you see the pine cone up there? Yeah. That's actually an evil Egyptian symbol, by the way.
Yeah, this guy totally wasn't high.
I'd like to get the Cobb salad, please. Yeah, exactly. Imagine that interaction.
But the Lord of the Rings thing, like, Sauron's supposed to be the devil, right? Everybody else is fighting against him. Why did Gandalf, the good guy, an angel of that side, throw pine cones at the orcs?
Can't explain that. Tie goes in, tie goes out. He wouldn't know. He never watched the movies. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Also, he's an idiot.
Keep it going.
And then you got the water spirits and the mermaids
The water
integrating the
spirits.
marine kingdom. Oh, and look at the fiery serpent above the people as they enjoy their meal.
The marine kingdom.
And then, of course, you got Saturn. If you look carefully with the moon down below, you know
Yep.
that Saturn is an occult symbol. Notice that they're holding hands in a circle like a seance.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a seance
And
to
I
me.
found it interesting. If you look at this
You haven't studied the occult like he
candlestick
does.
that's mentioned in
Yeah.
the Bible, what they would call the menorah, it's not burning normal like candles. It looks like it's being consumed or destroyed. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Sorry, messed it up.
It's being consumed or destroyed. You know, like how candles naturally melt over time. Yeah.
Yeah, what in the hell is he even talking about? He's fishing hard here. I don't see that being destroyed. That's just burning candles. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
You have to imagine too that this guy, first of all, probably ruining the party after the vibe after this wedding, is going around telling his friends about all the satanic stuff, and then he's like probably getting up so he can like get these pictures and stuff, you know, take him put them on his YouTube and stuff later. So yeah,
Sir, this is a Cheesecake Factory.
yes, sir. Sir, this is a Cheesecake Factory. Please sit down. No, you don't understand. You see that pine cone over there?
Go ahead.
They come out with like the fucking dessert. There's like a pine cone in the middle of it. I knew it. You see, I knew it. They're spiritually oppressing me. Man. He's like
The Bible, what they would call.
What's that?
I was just gonna say he's like they ask if he's gonna be leaving a tip. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave them a tip. I'm gonna give him my ministry. I'm about to minister to these people right now. That's my tip. He's that guy too. He probably didn't tip his waiters very well. I'm just suggesting.
No, he doesn't strike me as a big tipper.
No, I don't think so. Anyway, we can continue.
Called the menorah. It's not burning normal like candles. It looks like it's being consumed or destroyed. Do you see that?
Do you see that?
That's very deep.
It's very deep.
So it goes on and on and on. And saints of God, I know the food is tasty. I know the cheesecake must be delicious. The Bible says Satan is the god of this world who blinds the minds of the people. You as a believer, have you ever noticed these things when you went in there, or were you caught up by your senses? That's why the Bible says the sensual and the emotional and the earthly are devilish. You can't be moved by your senses. You have to walk in the spirit. You can't be moved by how it smells in there and how the dim lighting and the beauty of the pillars, and it just looks so lovely in there.
You know, I was
for the Cheesecake Factory.
I was going to be a good person today, but you know what? I started smelling that cheesecake, and I'm committing some sins tonight, brothers. Let me tell you what.
I've never heard somebody edge so hard while describing a restaurant.
Yeah, I guess maybe the sin of gluttony. I don't know, but yeah, very
weird.
Look beyond that. Walk in the spirit wherever you go. Now, am I gonna stone you if you go to a Cheesecake Factory? No. But I just wanted you to be aware of your surroundings. And it blew us away when we seen how deep the occult is in these cheesecakes.
The 666 in like different directions. In 966 on there. It's awesome.
They're just swirly patterns, dude. Grow up.
I know, like the one at the top's not even like, it's like an extra thing on there, and then like the one in the middle is like swirls going different directions. It's like it's reaching so hard.
Get a life.
Yeah.
Factories. So, you know, obedience is greater than sacrifice, and
yeah,
bro just wanted to expense his date.
Yeah, he's gotta he's got to make this go long. That's why he's pausing so he can get all the ads, on the video probably.
Yeah.
It's not good for us to support companies and places that are so bold to be antichrist right in our face. And we could feel the occult power there. And if you don't pay attention, you won't put your finger on it. Saints of God, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it opened up your understanding to pay more attention and to be more aware.
Definitely.
To
I'm never gonna
pray
look at a
more,
pine cone
to
the same
fast
way.
more. Because the occult.
Should we cut off here?
Sure. Yeah.
It's pretty much winding down, I think.
And this is it's just shitty. It's a shitty judgmental attitude because he doesn't fucking know anybody that works at the goddamn Cheesecake Factory. Okay. They're probably nice people. Like they're probably just average, normal people. I don't think they necessarily are influencing satanic, I don't know, forces onto people unwittingly. When they want to sit down and eat their goddamn cheesecake. Okay. So yeah, no, fuck you for saying that. Because you're shitty and judgmental for that guy from 5 years ago. So there you go.
So is the Cheesecake Factory actually a good restaurant?
It's very expensive. The thing about the Cheesecake Factory and why it's kind of infamous is just because like their menu literally has like 100 different things. Like you can get pizzas or burgers or whatever. And so I don't know, some would say you can't make that many things and have them all be good. I don't know, it's a fucking American chain restaurant. What do you want? How good can it be? Right.
That's what I would think. I would think it's just a mediocre chain restaurant. Like I feel like between that and it being a big corporate entity or something, there are probably things to criticize it for without distracting us with all this utter bullshit about its decorations and its pine cones and
I guarantee you whatever's happening at fucking McDonald's is more satanic than the goddamn Cheesecake Factory. Okay. But yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah, have you seen what they do to those milkshakes?
Right. Well, the milkshakes never work because the ice cream machine's always broken. But
exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
You figure out what that means.
You figure out what that means. You figure it out. Yeah. I know they don't have ice cream in Alaska because it's so cold there. You don't need it. But it's a thing.
That's offensive, Dan. That is
Is
offensive.
Is it offensive? Yeah. Well, brother, I'm just warning you. Okay. I'm just pointing out what's spiritual around here. Next time we go into a place together, we should make our own parody video of this. And just do it in the opposite direction, I guess. Hey, I'm here at the Wendy's. You see the girl with the red hair? Christianity. That's the Virgin Mary.
As you can see, the clear symbol of the cross.
Never frozen patties, just like how Christ was never frozen for us when he died for us. Do this all day.
So you know how sometimes you think something somebody does takes absolutely no talent, and then when somebody else tries it, you realize there's at least a little skill involved.
Yeah. I'm going to interpret that as you saying I have a little bit of talent at this. Welcome to the Burger King. You see that Burger King? Now the king, it's funny because they're trying to say, they're trying to reference Satan because he's the prince of this world, but really Christ is what's king and not the burgers. Okay. So.
And they even give every customer a crown so that we could all be our own king.
That's right. That's right. They give us a crown. They want us to celebrate and worship ourselves instead of worshiping our Lord. Yeah.
And you know what their main product is? Their signature burger? The Whopper.
Right.
You know what Whopper is a synonym for? A lie.
Ooh.
Who's the father of lies? I think we could get up some momentum here.
We can do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our next project, I think. Next time we see each other in real life, let's obnoxiously film ourselves at a restaurant doing a thing.
Sounds good.
All
right. You ready for our next? You want to?
Yes.
So you want to watch the time? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to remind folks that this stream is brought to you by me and Zod. And if you'd like to support us, you can do that by hitting that subscribe button and the like button, or donate, and we will read your super chat live on the air, and tell you why you've been actually subliminally influenced by satanic forces. So look forward to that.
Yes, exactly. And share your favorite theories too. Baggy and Bingo get burgers. We need to bring Baggy and Bingo back. It's
Yeah, we really
you
do.
know,
Really do.
we'll work on that someday. So our next prophet is like has a weirder but kind of somewhat typical looking aesthetic going on. And her prophecy is about the government having invented time travel. And
Right.
it's you just
A
have to
little bit
watch
more
the videos.
malicious, because this one is, I would say, more politically interested than the last one. Although I
Yeah.
haven't seen Revelations of Jesus Christ's full body of work, so forgive me if my analysis is too surface level. But yeah, what this is like, I think what got me interested in this, because we were reading last week about, some prophet influencers and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's not just a funny thing you can laugh at on the internet anymore. It is actually a marketable enough base to influence voting patterns. So that's cool. That's fun. Really good.
If you want to know why all these dumb fuckers are voting for Donald Trump, think about how many people watch these videos and how many people probably watch similar videos.
Yeah.
Not to get political,
Not to get
but
political.
I hope we didn't show our cards, the first where we fall.
Yeah.
At this point, if you're voting for Trump,
No.
we're way over the edge there.
Yeah.
So the title of this video, by the way, every single letter is caps.
A common theme with the prophet community, I think.
Snippet time travel does exist, comma, those in power know about it. And then in brackets, from my notes with the Lord.
Yes. That's awesome. That's when I go to the bathroom and I need to like mark that on my calendar or something. That's what I would put, I think.
All right, let's go.
That the Lord said, I think this would be in September 19, 2022, is the Lord saying that the United States government does have ways to do time travel. So I'm reading from here. This one is September the 5th, 2022. And
sorry, we're
gonna run I haven't
we
seen this, by the way. This is a new one for me. Zod has not shown me this one.
No, we are going to run short on time, and I don't want to pause too much, but you got to look at what's on this thing.
Yeah.
Many deep topics on top.
Many deep topics.
Listen with an open heart, so make sure you don't have a bad attitude. Don't sit there thinking I'm stupid like a person actually analyzing what I say.
Right.
But then underscore warnings of Yah part 2 underscore Mandela effect. What is this, just like random gibberish that they think will appeal to a completely...
Yeah, I don't know. I do like the Master's Voice and then Prophecy blog. If I were to ever start a blog, 100% I'm doing a prophecy blog. That just sounds like fun, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I want to hear the prophet's message, Sod. I would like to be informed.
I'm only going to read selectively from this. Time travel is possible. Time travel is real. This is not written in the scriptures. This is not in the book.
Okay.
This is secrets that the Nephilim revealed to the sons of men and also the angels. To men who should not have access to this knowledge.
Okay. we're off with the races with this one, Zod. So the Nephilim gave the secrets of time travel to men. Why? What was the reason? Do we know?
Sure they have their reasons.
Just to kind of fuck around. Did they have the materials to build said time machines? I imagine it's not cheap. I imagine they had to get, like, I don't know, silicon and stuff. They probably didn't have that, right?
And uranium. Where are they finding uranium?
Yeah. Plutonium. If Back to the Future has taught me anything.
Plutonium. Sorry, I meant plutonium.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't want to go sticking
Mm.
uranium in my time machine like a dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We're off to Funky Town with this one right away. And I have a feeling
as soon as someone brings up the Nephilim, you are one of those Christians.
brother, there is nothing better. Okay, you search hashtag Nephilim on Twitter or any other social media, you're gonna find some good shit. I tell you, it never fails. Love it for her, love it for the community.
It is not for man. It is not for man to repeat or know, and yet man does know, and some of them are doing it. The fallen angels have given them access. This is the people who have built this thing, this circle, this thing that they call CERN. This thing is actually called
Classic.
a Stargate.
Classic.
A Stargate. And
Yes.
when the Lord led me, excuse me, please, to know this thing.
Yep.
When you Google it,
Shut that cat
you'll
up.
find that there is.
Oh, was it her cat?
It sounded like a cat or a kid. If it
Okay,
either way,
I couldn't
shut 'em
tell
up.
if she like. It sounded like she had a live audience and she was trying to get them to be quiet, or she farted. I don't know, but
I thought that sounded like a cat to me.
okay. I just didn't hear it.
Yeah, no, she needs to tell that cat to, because she's speaking truth right here. Okay, CERN conspiracies, classic. Love it. I also like the idea that there's just forbidden knowledge that we should, because like iPhones weren't mentioned in the Bible. Like, does that mean that like we shouldn't be having those? I don't know why scripture not mentioning it necessarily says that's the thing we shouldn't have. But I'm not a prophet, so
so maybe you know more about this stuff, but this secret knowledge was never explained in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And God decided to hold on to it and reveal it to some just crazy ass rando sitting under a blanket.
That's right.
Cool. All right. That kind of tracks, actually.
That tracks.
Actually, a movie like this. Sure, it's old and it's grainy, but it is there. And I can easily submit it to you for your own vetting. But God is saying that this thing called time travel is possible, that it is indeed real, and that the government does do it, and that the government has had this knowledge revealed to them by the fallen ones.
Okay, I just want to point out, it says in the corner here, its effects are already palpable today with an acceleration in time. If you've been keen, you'll have noticed that time is moving faster. Yeah, that's called getting old. That's just called life. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you there.
Keen.
Yeah.
I love their critical thinking terminology, or their way of, like, I don't know. Don't research things. Just if you're keen, you'll just notice. It's so weird.
So CERN, that's interesting that she's going with the Stargate line, because when I was younger and I knew somebody at my church that believed this, that said that CERN was actually going to bring about the apocalypse because it was going to, I guess, start a black hole or bring some sort of cosmic event into action or something, and start the events of the Book of Revelation. So CERN is at the center of a lot of stuff because it's just like really complicated, and people, obviously it's like underground and stuff. So, people have a lot of ideas about what's going on, and science is hard.
Wasn't there a novel about how it made everybody in the world jump 15 minutes ahead in time or something?
I don't know about that. You're reading that's some secret knowledge that I don't think you should know about.
Okay.
Have you vetted that? You got to vet that.
I need to get myself a decorated blanket to put over my head.
When you submit that book to me and for me to vet, then I'll consider it.
As long as you're keen.
As long as I'm keen. Absolutely. All right,
I got to step away for just a moment while you're playing it. I'll be
okay.
back.
I'll keep playing it.
By the fallen ones, angel, Nephilim, sharing with man, just as they did when they came down upon Mount Hermon. They are again doing the same transgression, sharing with humanity things that mankind, God never intended us to know. The fallen angels have given them access and taught them secrets and revealed things to them that they are not supposed to know or move in by any means. Okay. Men are not supposed to travel in time. Men are fixed in time to live, die, and accept their fate. So why is there so much information about it? on your shows? Why is there so much
Whose
information
shows?
about it teased in your movies and trailers? And sometimes the process of it is outright put forward and described upon your televisions. Who is giving men information?
Okay. All right. Who is giving them information? So we're bordering this this is bordering into mental illness territory, unfortunately. I feel like. Which makes this kind of uncomfortable because I don't like um I don't like, you know, talking about somebody who has something that they can't control, right? Because there's not much you can do if something like that is happening to you, right? Most, a lot of folks who have that condition, I believe, like more than half are, I think it's agnostics, right? Don't even realize that they have a condition like that. So there's something to that. I mean, but at the same time, this person is like extremely popular. It's like what, over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube,
Yeah.
right? And like actively posting content. So like, there has to be something done, right? Like there's some sort of level of influence there, is what I'm saying. That is harmful and needs accountability. So I will hold her accountable for that, I guess. Like, I don't know. But
I,
it's getting
I,
weird. It's getting weird.
I think by the time somebody starts posting public things, especially if they have a sizable audience, I think it's totally appropriate to hold them accountable and not really have any concern for questions of what their mental state is. First off, I mean, not ridiculing them and jabbing at them just to jab at them, but because number one, it's hard to tell whether or not they do. I think anybody who gets a good audience, the same goes for apologists. Even if it's not mental illness, you can believe it or delude yourself to some extent. And you get into a feedback loop where people reward you either socially or financially for what you say.
Right.
And so it's
Right.
hard to distinguish for one. But then number two, like you said, this person's making a choice on some level to do what they do, and they're getting rewarded for it, and it impacts other people.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, who knows what effect people like this have on the voting population, or on how people just choose to live their lives. All the unconstructive choices people make to resolve their issues or not, to systematically address their behavior or their relationships and things like that, because they're floating around mentally in this la la land that people like this are promoting. I don't really feel like it's appropriate to hold back and let all those people not have any influence on those people or have any pushback just because we're afraid that somebody might have a mental issue that's causing them to say this.
Yeah. And I would, sorry, you had more to say?
No, that's it.
Well, I was just bringing up Curious Nerd Kitty's comment saying, I don't think we should assume it's mental illness. It's amazing what people will believe. And they said, or specifically, I don't think we should assume it's a delusion in the psychological sense. And I agree, right? I don't know this person. I've seen literally a minute of them, and I can't make a diagnosis over the internet. Okay. But like when someone starts talking to me about like, oh, they're giving us information, right? And they're giving us signs about things, it's a red flag, at least, right? I think that's fair. So it comes with a sort of warning for me. I gotta slow my roll here just a little bit. Yeah.
There's, if you suspect that, it might inform how you attack the material and the person, and you might not want to say something that's too cutting if it's like a frailty of any kind on the person's part. But it's hard to even say whether somebody like this, especially if you have the presence of mind to curate a large enough of this size of audience and to keep putting out this material systematically, I have to at least wonder whether, if this sounds like some kind of paranoid delusion, whether she holds that delusion or whether she's taking advantage of the fact that other people are going to, and that this will ring true with them. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's also just like there's a community of people that just have weird beliefs that aren't outwardly mentally ill in any way either, right? Like that's also a thing. There's a lot of circumstances that come to people's lives to have those kinds of beliefs, right? So again, I don't know, but like I get red flags from this. And yeah, there's some interesting stuff when you talk about how time travel movies are giving you information. about things, red flag, red flag.
Where is all this?
The fact that she thinks, number one, that this information is like there's any technically viable information being presented in movies about how to conduct time travel, and then number two, that this had to have been divine from spiritual forces. Like, how else would we know that you like put plutonium in a DeLorean and drive it at 88 miles an hour in order to travel through time? Like, seriously, what is this?
Yeah. Oh, we got a super chat from poor Claire who gave $4.99 and said Burger King's slogan is let me let me try again. How do you talk again? Burger King's slogan is "Have it your way." This reflects the evil individualism of modern times. We should have it God's way, not our way. That wasn't as good as I feel like I did better earlier. But thank you for the $5.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a good.
And by the way, that does not sound that outrageous, because that sounds like the kind of thing a Christian would have said in my church or Christian school at some point. They're not in a demonic way, but society's encouraging you. You need to have it your way.
No, that's 100% on brand. Yeah, 100%. There's that video exists right now on the internet about Burger King. Like, I have zero doubts in my mind. I'm willing to bet my life savings on that.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's continue.
Coming from. It is coming from them, the fallen ones, the fallen angels. It is not from me. So now you hear that information can be true knowledge. It can be true information, but it's not necessarily what God wants you to know. God created Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were never babies. They were created full adults, and yet they lived in the garden, not in a state of ignorance or stupor, but they did live in a state of purity, and that purity included pure innocence.
Well, wasn't that innocent because they fucking sinned now, didn't they? I never understand this. Oh, everything was great and pure. No, it wasn't. If it was, we'd still be there. Clearly someone fucked up, according to Christians, and it was Eve and the devil, but mostly Eve. You know?
Yeah, I hate when people say God didn't create the sinful world. He created it perfect and he got corrupted. Like, he created all the mechanisms by which they decided to sin and the consequences of that.
Yeah. You know what's funny? These videos would always be more entertaining if they just cut all the Bible reference stuff. I feel like at the end of these, they always got to pull out a verse and they start reading, and that's when it gets boring. I don't like that stuff as much. I want more of the fun ideas. You know.
Do you feel like this is running out of gas?
We can give it a few more seconds. But
I got something that I can show us if you want.
You got more? You got Cat Kerr?
I got something tangential.
Okay.
Hang on one second. Hit play for a second. I'll bring it up.
All right, we'll hit play. Let's
get this out of your
system. By knowing about Nephilim, knowing about fallen angels, knowing about Satan. God never introduced the serpent to his perfect creations. He created them in literal utopia and left them, some would say, unprotected. No, Adam and Eve were protected by obedience. God told them how the whole thing worked, and he left one instruction. They had one job, and they failed to do that job.
Yeah, it didn't fucking work now, did it? Sounds like it wasn't very good fucking protection. Huh? If the one thing that wasn't supposed to happen happened, sounds like it wasn't a very good idea. I don't know.
Under the watch of an omnipotent, all-powerful God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be culturally insensitive because I don't know the origins of this sort of prayer shawl, but I can't help but think when I see her, you ever seen those vines where people, whenever the guys are like imitating girls, they always put the towel over their head?
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of. So I don't know. Maybe that's my ignorance.
So just, I might be jumping to conclusions here, but having grown up in Pentecostal churches, this looks less like her personal culture and more like just an affectation to look prophetic or something. It might not be, but that. Okay, can I show us something else?
Yeah, show us something else. What you got?
Okay. Just in the context of what we said, I just did
I
a
know.
very quick Google.
Vine's what year is it? I miss Vine. I still think everything Vine's when I watched a Vine, I didn't have to worry about watching misinformation from like a Gen Z TikToker telling me about how Anne Frank is actually a time traveler that wants to reveal to us the truth about 9/11 or something, right? But like, at least we could say that about Vine. R.I.P.
There
I
weren't
miss it.
robots and Russians trying to steer the course of our politics and our society.
I mean, that was still happening, but like it wasn't on Vine.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was actually. Maybe there was some Russian Vine stuff happening. I don't know. But oh well.
All right, you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be. Let's do it.
It says, do you boo? In a world that says, come on, have it your way.
Yeah, there we go. You found it.
BK, you want to Burger King your life.
My life savings are
and
safe.
have it your way. Write your own story. Choose your own adventure. In a world where this is the normative and the normal, walking a life of submission and obedience to God is anything but that. But I believe that the ultimate measure of our faith in God is always going to be our obedience to God.
Yeah. That randomly came up, and it took me literally 10 seconds to Google that. That Christianity is filthy with a don't do it your way, have it God's way.
In a world full of choose your own adventure books. That's that nobody's talking about that, Zod. That's the real crime. Okay.
This book has the real adventure.
Gaza? Fuck it. Did they read choose your own adventure books? That's why. Okay. Yeah.
When I was
Really
younger,
good.
there were Christian choose your own adventure books.
Mm.
They had the Hawaiian computer mystery. I don't remember what other one.
They were choosing your own sense. See, the choose your own adventure books. We're talking about choosing your own damnation. Okay.
In Hawaiian computer mystery, this kid got like a prize trip to Hawaii for being good at computers. And one of the endings you can get to in the game is you're at the screen and you're doing something. Apparently, you probably did something ungodly. And there's a animation of a snake on the screen. And that's back when screens are all like, green and black and stuff.
Sure.
But there's this green snake all over the screen, twisting back and forth. And you start to feel all sick and stuff like that. And then you just fade out. And that's the end of that choose your own adventure.
That sounds really cool. We need to do some more of that kind of stuff. It's been a while since we played a game on here.
Yeah.
I bet there's some good stuff. You know what I finally realized that guy's voice reminded me of? Do you ever see the Chad Warden video? It was like, hey, Chad Warden here. Talk about that PS triple. You ever seen that video? Probably
No.
not. Okay. That's just for me then. Me and the 5 other people that know that video. But if you know, you know.
I guess so.
Yeah. I like the meaninglessness of that message too. Going back to the video, right? Because it's like, they want what he's really saying there is I need you to be obedient to me and my message and go to my church and pay me money because I'm allowed to be individualistic and dress all cool and hip and start my own churches and start my own ministries and stuff. I'm allowed to have leadership, but you need to have obedience, right? That's what these things always kind of strike me as. It's just like, again, they like the sound of their own voice a little bit, I think.
Yeah, considering that God is just something that resides in your mind and in whatever cultural ether is generated by that organization, really obey God means obey the most forceful, charismatic person who is in a position of power and happens to be me. Like that's really what it comes to.
Yeah,
it's pretty crass.
A Curious Nerd Kitten is saying we should do a choose your own adventure story on the show. That's a good idea.
We should
do that.
I wonder if Brad Stein has written a choose your own adventure.
We could commission him to write one for us, I bet. I need to look into that book again. I need to find another source. One day I will read through the works of Brad Stein and I can be a real scholar.
Wait. There's a Left Behind game?
Oh, yeah?
Never heard of that.
I haven't heard of that either. I'd be curious.
So did you want to show us some stuff about Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have that up somewhere?
I can.
We have about little more than 10 minutes here.
Yeah, let me get that up real quick. Sorry, I didn't have the page up, but I can do it right now. Let's see. The right. Oh my god. Oh my god, what's the name of that fucking ministry? It's the right way ministry. What's the name of that stupid ministry?
That sounds about right.
It's
No,
not
no pun intended.
The guy that looks like a poor man's God, I'm so tired today, Zod. I can't think straight. I can't even finish my similes. This is ridiculous. Man. Is it the right way? Hold on. That's the right something. No, this isn't it. All right, give me a second here. Stall for me, Zod. Stall.
Right Response Ministries.
Oh, is that it? Oh, you found it?
I came up with your thing faster than you did.
Yeah, I was just Googling. I probably should have gone through our chat history.
Yeah, that's all I did is scroll up our chat history.
Okay, well, do you have
By the way,
it?
speaking of our chat history, if anybody can find that video, I think it got taken down, but I want to put a bounty out on that video where who is it? Eric Hovind dresses in really offensive costumes. Do you remember how I asked you about that?
Right.
I want to find that. He took that down and you can't find it anywhere, but we need to find that. I'm going to see if I can find, while you're bringing that up, I'm going to see if I can find the title of it.
Oh, okay. You want me to bring it up still? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know the title of it. It's not in our history.
Damn.
But he he dressed in like very offensive ethnic racial stereotypes to do some skits, and
yeah, that sounds like a good time. Yeah. No problems there for the foreseeable future. I remember that video now.
Yeah, I never saw it. I've seen screenshots from it, but yeah.
But you said you have the link. Can you send it to me real quick? I still can't find this.
Oh, sure.
I'm not prepared right now, Zod. I'm being called out. You remember how you were ranting and raving about how we need to be prepared like a week or two ago? This is it. I'm getting my comeuppance. This is what happens when man tries to find his own way and doesn't follow the way of the Zod. You know?
There. It's in the chat.
Okay, thanks. All right, here we go. The Right Response Ministries. Okay, The Divine Feminine and Taylor Swift is the name of this video, which is a great start. Let me share my fucking screen here. Boom. Great stuff. Episode 1 of the Cultish Show with Joel Webbin, aka Timo Matt Walsh. Okay. We got to start with this intro here because it is amazing. We'll see how much farther we get into it afterwards, but the intro in this is really where it's at. Here we go.
Throughout the annals of history, many pagan cultures have revered goddesses and female deities as manifestations of the divine feminine, offering prayers and rituals to honor their perceived wisdom, power, and grace. From the nurturing embrace of the Earth Mother to the fierce sovereignty of warrior goddesses, these divine figures are meant to embody a spectrum of feminine qualities, serving as guides and inspirations for their followers.
You see where this is going, chat? Where do you think this is going? Where do we think this is going? Who could guess?
I bet they tie this together into a really good point.
Oh, a really good point. A really good point. Here we go.
However, the resurgence of interest in the divine feminine in contemporary times transcends mere deity worship. Public icons, such as Taylor Swift, represent that the divine feminine is not ultimately located in a deity outside of the individual, but instead it is found deep within the true self. The divine feminine is said to represent renewal and transformation, a call to restore balance and harmony in a world plagued by the alleged discord an imbalance supposedly brought about by the patriarchy and toxic masculinity.
Yeah, remember when Taylor Swift said all that in Romeo and Juliet? I remember. She went on a whole screed in that song about the patriarchy and toxic masculinity.
It just sounds like they're barfing like word salad. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like they're bigger Taylor Swift fans than I am. Okay, giving her all these accolades. Yeah, she representing the divine feminine and stuff. Like they're saying like, yes, queen slay. You know, they're about it. I mean, obviously she's very popular and definitely has an influence. Okay, I won't deny you there. Maybe the most popular like female artist of our time. You know, but like if people think she's the divine feminine, that's on them. I don't think like she's telling people that, you know what I mean? I don't know. Very bizarre.
In an age marked by the incessant demand for gender equality, environmental sustainability, and holistic spirituality,
of course they gotta show like queer coded people for that part, by the way. Of course.
And I love how they just shit talk demands for equality and economic
environmental sustainability. Oh God, the horror.
These people storming around demanding equal treatment in an inhabitable place to live. What next?
How terrible.
The problem is at its core, Dan, they want to have it their way in terms of being allowed to survive.
It's true. They want to have it their way, and they're not recognizing the paganism in their own beliefs or whatever.
Divine feminine is presented as the only hope for achieving balance. But
again, citation fucking needed. Who is saying this, my man? If you found this on page 7 of the Taylor Swift fan forums, that doesn't count, right? Like there's all kinds of weirdos that follow music artists, popular music artists. It doesn't matter. That this isn't the vast majority of Taylor Swift fans. They're just like normal people. And then there's a couple of weirdos that harass people. But hey, you know, I guess it happens.
Well, and feminism, just purely logically, it is going to equalize some things. If you give equal rights to half the population or the same opportunities as men, that doesn't mean you're treating it as some weird, ethereal, like only hope for leveling out everything in the world. That's just weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you this. A materialist analysis, one could argue that Taylor Swift is a representation of liberal capitalism and its effects on our culture and ideals. I could maybe meet you halfway there, but you're not saying that. You're saying that she's like literally influencing people to like defy God and you know, just do your own thing and worship the self, which I don't think encouraging young people to have healthier relationships with men is really doing all that. But yeah.
Kind of Tiona said, I did encounter a presentation by slightly unhinged faux feminists saying this kind of stuff, but it's definitely not mainstream. Yeah, I'm sure almost everything that you could think of is out there somewhere. So, I mean, maybe they did encounter something like this. What it sounds like to me, and I might be wrong, is that they're just taking something that has a kernel of truth to it, and they're like, or it's going to sound familiar to their audience, and they're just overblowing it and stating it in the most exaggerated way possible.
Right. I mean, there was a time, like 2014-ish, you know, where everybody was, you know, banging on social justice warriors, right? They're talking about all these people, they're really annoying, and they're asking for all this stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, there's annoying people a part of any group, sure, but like, what makes you fundamentally against like environmental sustainability? Like the fact that there's annoying people there doesn't mean that your position is any more correct or that their position is any less correct. Unfortunately, you have to like look at it for what it is. Just because there's some people who you disagree with aesthetically doesn't mean that you're objectively right in everything that you do. And this is like the crazy lengths that people like this take with this kind of stuff, just because it's like, oh, this person was kind of annoying on TikTok or whatever. Let's, you know, call them the worst thing in the world. Yeah.
In reality, the vast majority of its adherents do not truly wish to balance femininity with masculinity. Rather, they wish to eradicate masculinity in all its forms. And
again, citation fucking needed. Have you ever seen a Taylor Swift music video, my man? Okay. The guys in there, they don't look like me. All right. The hunkiest fucking dudes you've ever seen in your life. Okay. The most attractive people that you'll never even get a chance to talk to, let alone even look at with your own virgin eyes. But yeah.
They want to
ridiculous.
eliminate masculinity in all its forms.
Right.
Yeah, dial it down there a bit, buddy.
Dial it down. Just a little
I mean,
bit.
you could maybe say they're pushing back against what you'd call traditional masculinity or something like that, but to say they're trying to eliminate masculinity in all its forms just defies credibility, I guess, unless you have an audience like this guy probably does.
David Hepworth, isn't she dating a football player? Yes. And guess what? Literally every other guy she's ever dated is hot. Like in like a traditional masculine way, because you can be hot and not be traditionally masculine. That's fine. Yeah. But like, no, they're hot in that kind of way. Okay, so like, no, she's
dating a big, burly, bearded, lumberjack-looking football player.
Yeah, I don't know. By the way, this fucking guy, I don't know what it is with this fucking Temu Matt Walsh and in his likeness. I don't need them to fucking tell me what it's like to be a real goddamn man. These scrawny ass looking motherfuckers, okay, trying to tell me how to run a goddamn family when you can't even run laps at the gym, homie. What's up with that? Okay, like stop telling other people how to live their lives. God damn. But anyway,
but counterpoint, he grows a beard and wears flannel.
Oh, he grows a beard, and yeah, he wears flannel. Yeah, and he has like 1 million kids. Oh, I guess that means he's a man, right? That's all it takes. Anyway, so silly. Okay.
And their ultimate goal is to destroy the patriarchy in its pinnacle source, the Father, the Son, and He, the Holy Spirit.
Oh.
I do like that interpretation where there's some Christians that'll say like, yeah, no, the patriarchy is not a thing, right? Like, oh, and it's overblown. And these guys are like, no, not only is it super real, but God says it's real. And like, God's like the final boss in Doom. You got to defeat him last if you want to beat the patriarchy. I love this interpretation. It's awesome.
I have to admit that was a little bit clever. How they said they wanted to destroy the patriarchy. I think at its highest, whatever, the Father, and then they transition from the Father, the Son, and they pan back to the Bible. Like that was a little clever, I'll admit. They want to take down patriarchy up to the Father. Like at first, I thought they were saying the Father. Yeah, like you want to eliminate fatherhood.
It's like a mob movie.
You know.
Hey, you want to eliminate patriarchy? You got to take it up with the boss. You got to take it up with the Father.
This sucks and it's stupid, but I'll admit when something's a little bit clever when I see it.
All right, I won't admit it. Don't worry, folks. I won't give any credit, even if it's due. You understand? I'm a hater.
Yeah, get a good healthy cancel Zod going there.
That's right. Please do.
All right, we have about a minute left. How much do you want to go on this?
I just want to at least introduce their stupid faces. So let's
go ahead.
Welcome to the first episode now of season 3.
These are the guys, by the way. These are the guys. They're like, hey, we need to stop these women from destroying the patriarchy because these guys aren't going to thrive. Okay. So do with that as you will.
Being manly doesn't mean you look like you drink IPAs in the worst possible way.
Yeah. I agree with that. It doesn't mean you have to buy all of your clothing from fucking Bass Pro Shop. Okay. And I don't know. It's bizarre. This I mean, they're fucking podcasters, Zod. They're fucking podcasters. They're not going to the fucking factory. They're not working in the coal mines, okay? They're sitting in front of a mic. Let me tell you, it's not that hard, okay? I'm not breaking a sweat over here because I'm talking a little bit differently than I normally do in a microphone for an hour and a half. It's not that hard, okay? It's not that hard.
But yeah, we have like on the left, we have tough guy on the top, weird shorts on the bottom. In the middle, we have too old to wear a hoodie, and then we have like strange fancy shoes. Like, this is a weird assortment of things, especially for talking about like masculinity and stuff. I don't know.
That Timu Matt Walsh on the right. I refuse to say his real name. One, because I forgot it, and two, because he's Timu Matt Walsh. I swear to you, he is the guy at work that enforces the dress code. That's him. He's that guy. He's like, hey, you're actually, this isn't, it's not up to code. Actually, you got to make sure your coat's like this long. He's that guy. 100.
Yeah, he's hella Matt Walsh looking though.
Dude,
that feels like it's on purpose.
It's not an exaggeration. He could be his brother, legit, or cousin or something.
Yeah.
It is kind of bizarre.
3 of the Friday special with Right Response Ministries, and our guest for this whole season doing 10 episodes is Andrew Sunkrant and Jeremiah Roberts, the co-host of Cultish. Welcome, guys.
Awesome, man. Glad to be here. I'm loving your setup here.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is awesome. I feel like I should have brought like a different change of clothes.
You're
like every 3 episodes I can change.
Yeah, that is true. That's the thing about going back to back to back. So for you guys who are listening, the way that we do this is each season, we select our guests, we fly them out, and we record a whole season in 2 days. Yeah. So we are sitting in these chairs.
Well, that sounds like really good quality content. Just have a bunch of conversations all at once and call it a fucking season. Yeah, really good stuff. Really good.
Yeah.
Production there. Hey, I don't know if you guys know this. There's a thing called Zoom you could do. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, this technology we have, but teleconferencing is a thing. You don't have to fly everybody out in person. Granted, it's fun. It's great doing stuff in person, and there's a benefit to it. I'm not saying, it's not, but like, is it really worth your parishioners' money that they donate to you, by the way, because you receive handouts, to pay for this awful fucking ministry show? I don't know. I don't think so, but that's just me. I'm just hating.
Hey, it's not your money.
It's not my money. That's true. But imagine donating to this guy. Being like, yes, sir, I need you to protect the West. It's falling and I need your help. Anyway, that's it. That's the rant. That's all I got. Go
Real quick, final thought before we go.
Yeah.
Cheesecake Factory guy versus this guy's carpet.
Yeah, he has some stuff to say about this carpet for sure. You see, when you look at the center of this carpet, what do you see? Look at that symbol in the center there. That's a hexagram. That's a double hexagram. It's a hexagram on top of the hexagram, right? That means double the hexes. Okay, that's what that means. And you see how the man is in the center with his 2 friends on the side. What does that remind you of? The Trinity. That's right. These guys, they're trying to be like God. They're trying to be like the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. See, Satan imitates God when he wants to influence those and thinking he's on the right path. Anyway, that's it. That's my.
There's a much simpler route to go with this rug, which is it looks Muslim.
It does. It is a Turkish rug, right? That's the typical descriptor there. So, for a guy that doesn't like other cultures,
are men seriously trying to claim basic comfortable seating poses now? You have to have a certain level of confidence to just sit like that. Like, I feel like it's really hard to get a flattering pose when you're just sitting with a camera at that level and you don't have no table in front of yourself or anything. I don't know. I would not be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
There's a good chance your lower half is going to look way too big and you're just going to be splayed out and it just looks weird.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting choice for the setup there, but hey, that's all the time we got today, Zod. What'd you think about today's episode?
I thought it was a wild ride. I think there are many things to learn from each of these.
Yeah.
What'd
you learn?
And I learned that I probably do not come to them with an open heart, and that, I need to be more, I don't know.
You need to be more spiritually aware, Zod.
Yeah, I need to be more spiritually aware, and I need to show up not looking to mock, just to actually hear and be in tune.
Right. I agree with that. I learned that I'm never going to look at a pine cone the same way again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Here's a super by the way, yep, from Manuel Puente, $10 with the super sticker. Thank you so much, Manuel, for that. And $2 from Melly, who said 1 hexagon plus 6 arms plus 6 legs equals 666. And that's also true. It's also true. You're spiritually aware, Melly. Good job. Good job. You're doing it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Remember to stay woke and watch out for pine cones.
Look at the pine cone.
Look at the pine cones.
Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue y la casa de la bachata. Voy a cantar esta canción con mucho cariño de mi corazón a la República Dominicana, la casa del merengue y la casa de la bachata. La, 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 la casa del merengue. La, 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 y la casa de la bachata. Música, 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 te traigo música, música, música.